Hello, welcome to this edition of Chapel Notes for Gooden Weekly. Glad you're here. We have been preparing in chapel this week for Gooden Gives Back for next week. So we've been focusing on the idea, of course, of giving back. So I wanted to share with you what we were working on. So one moment in the Zoom world here as we put this together. There we go. Gooden Gives Back. And our partners, of course, are Friends Indeed, the local organization that we partner with to see to the needs of those in our community who are, in fact, in need. So as we discuss this in chapel, I wanted to share with you our reading. It comes from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus was speaking to the people, and he said, "At the right time, the Messiah will come in glory, escorted by all the angels of heaven, and will sit upon the royal throne. All the people of the world will be gathered together there, and the Messiah will separate the people, like when a shepherd separates the sheep from the young goats. The sheep will be placed on the right-hand side, and the young goats on the left. The ruler will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Abba God. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world. Because when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me a drink. When I was a stranger, you invited me into your home. When I had no clothes, you gave me clothing. When I was sick, you cared for me. When I was in prison, you visited me.' And then these loving ones will reply, 'Master, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink, or a stranger and show you hospitality, or without clothes and give you clothing? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you?' The ruler will say to them, 'I tell you the truth. Every time you did this for the least significant of people, you were doing it to me.' Then the ruler will say to those on the left, 'Away with you. I am sending you out of my sight. Because when I was hungry, you did not feed me. When I was thirsty, you did not give me a drink. When I was a stranger, you did not invite me into your home. When I had nothing to wear, you did not give me clothing. When I was sick and in prison, you did not visit me.' Then they will ask, 'Master, when did we ever see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger, or naked or sick or in prison, and we did not help you?' The ruler will answer, 'I tell you the truth. Every time you refused to help the least significant of people, you were refusing to help me.'" Hear what the Spirit is saying to God's people. Thanks be to God. What we talked about was just this very dramatic story that Jesus tells. And whenever Jesus uses intense language, it's probably because it's important for us to hear. The same reason we use intense or dramatic language. So that's what we're on about with Gooden Gives Back. And this is what I told them. This is a story from, probably 25 years ago now, at a worldwide conference about hunger and poverty and about food shortages. There were a large number of speakers over a number of days. One of the speakers was His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. And we introduced Tenzin to our students during Martin Luther King month when we were celebrating those people who were inspired by or had the spirit of Dr. King. And His Holiness was one of those. Well, at this conference, there were lots of presentations by scientists and experts and long material breakout groups and covering all these kinds of things. And everybody was looking forward to his speech because, of course, he is very well known and is quite a moving speaker. Well, the time arrived, everyone was gathered in this great hall, and the Dalai Lama came forward, came up to the microphone, stopped for a period of silence, leaned in and said, "Share." And then he went and sat down. Share. The sum total of his speech. And I think it's a perfect example of what Jesus of Nazareth was talking about. Share. Share what we have. Share our smiles. Share our care. Share our hearts. Share our love. Share. I'll see you next week for the collection at Gooden Gives Back. Grace and peace.